Warning, this video is intentionally negative to showcase the bad sides of Black Ops 3. If you love Black Ops 3, I would suggest you get one of those inflatable donuts to ease the butthurt that's about to follow. Well, hello there, my lovely people. I'm back from vacation, and here I am again. I've noticed that some attention has been drawn to my video about how Battlefield and Call of Duty are in the same universe. But one pandemonium that has also come up is a question about why I haven't included Black Ops 3 into the timeline. Some of you were indeed confused. Black Ops 3 has a story, it even has a campaign, it is even connected to one of its largest trilogies. It definitely is a part of the Call of Duty universe, right? Wrong! So why isn't it in the timeline? As I will tell you why right here. So you may know that I'm not the biggest fan of the game, and I despise it to the point where I didn't even consider buying it. Now, a lot of people would say, oh, but you not liking the game doesn't disqualify it from the Call of Duty series. You are still obligated to mention it. Now, while it is true that my disliking of Black Ops 3 motivated my desire to find a way to disqualify the game, it is not the source alone, although a lot of people would see it that way because so many of us agree that the campaign for Black Ops 3 was complete and utter shit. If you actually go on any review site for the game, you would see that it's filled with nothing but bad remarks. The reason why this game is disqualified from the timeline is because of its nature that proves that the game simply didn't happen in the Call of Duty series. The characters aren't in-game characters. I'm not the first one who has pointed that one out either. Black Ops 3 takes place in the year 2065, a time of advanced technology. The game takes on cyberpunk themes very similar to Ghost in the Shell or Ready Player One. Artificial intelligence is now a part of human life, and it continues to grow. Characters in the game itself wonder if there will be an AI takeover. We've seen this kind of concept before in show business, and all kinds of theories and subgenres have arisen from it. Black Ops 3 even hints that it takes on one of these theories. At the beginning of the game, the unnamed player gets attacked and mortally wounded by a hostile robot, and in order to, quote, save him or her, the player goes through extensive medical surgery as well as cybernetic neural implants. Then the player is once again fit for active duty. Then he or she completes the game only to realize that he or she never took part in the game. The memory was stored into a neural link and placed through an entire simulation through the perspective of another character named Taylor, who just shuts it off at the end. All of it indicating that the events of the game never happened. And this is a real theory that actually exists. It's called the simulation hypothesis. Prominent figures such as Elon Musk have mentioned it, and it begs the question if everything we know is just a virtual simulation. If it is the case, then do we really exist? A simulation is defined as a series of events that are artificially made in order to reenact a real-life situation. Many people say that nothing in life is certain except our existence. Well, with this theory, you can say that not even our existence is 100% certain.
There's a sort of a philosophic concept that a sufficiently advanced civilization would be able to create a simulation. Yeah, maybe you've answered this before. A simulation.
I've had so many simulation discussions; it's crazy.
Okay, so because
in fact, it got to the point where basically every conversation was the AI/simulation conversation. And my brother and I finally agreed that we would ban such conversations if we were ever in a hot tub. Okay. That was like. Because that really kills the magic.
Hot tub, so the idea is right. Any sufficiently advanced civilization could create a simulation that's like our existence, and so the theory follows that maybe we're in the simulation. Have you thought about this? And
a lot.
Are we?
Even in hot tubs?
No.
So much so it had to be banned from a hot tub.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not the sexiest conversation.
Are we in?
I mean, I think here's, in my mind, like the strongest argument for us being in a simulation, probably being in a simulation, I think is the following. That 40 years ago, we had Pong, like two rectangles and a dot. That was what games were. Now, 40 years later, we have photorealistic 3D simulations with millions of people playing simultaneously, and it's getting better every year. And soon we'll have virtual reality, we'll have augmented reality. If you assume any rate of improvement at all, then the games will become indistinguishable from reality, just indistinguishable. Even if that rate of advancement drops by 1,000 from what it is right now, then you just say, okay, well, let's imagine it's 10,000 years in the future, which is nothing in the evolutionary scale. So given that we're clearly on a trajectory to have games that are indistinguishable from reality, and those games could be played on any set-top box or on a PC or whatever, and there would probably be, billions of such, computers or set-top boxes, it would seem to follow that the odds that we're in base reality is 1 in billions.
So
Tell me what's wrong with that argument.
Is the answer yes?
The argument is probably. But I just like, is there a flaw in that argument?
I mean, someone.
I'm not sure what the error.
No. The argument makes sense. So the assumption then is that somebody beat us to it, and this is a game.
No. There's a 1 in billions chance that this is base reality.
Oh, okay. What do you think?
Well, I think it's 1 in billions.
Okay. Yeah,
I mean, that seems to be like clearly what it suggests.
Right.
And actually, I mean, arguably, we should hope that that's true, because otherwise, if civilization stops advancing, then that may be due to some calamitous event that erases civilization. So maybe we should be hopeful that this is a simulation, because otherwise...
Because they could reboot it.
Well, otherwise, either we're going to create simulations that are indistinguishable from reality, or civilization will cease to exist. Those are the two options.
And this is the same thing with the player in Black Ops 3. Everything that was relived throughout the game with this neural network was only an illusion created by the neural implantation itself. We actually learn of its history in Call of Duty Black Ops 4, where the whole thing was made by Savannah Mason Meyer and used it on the mercenaries that she hired. That same neural link is what drives the events of Black Ops 3. As for the year, since the simulation, the year 2065 of the game is just an illusion as well. That simulation could have taken point at any time after the year 2043. It might even be possible that the player's experience in Black Ops 3 was the very first simulation test to have taken place. It would be as if you were playing a Mario game and Mario was playing a video game inside that game. That's what Black Ops 3 is, and the evidence hints at that more than just the ending. Many people complained about how Black Ops 3 didn't continue the story of Black Ops 2, which I have to say, I agree with that last complaint completely. But the reason why there are few Black Ops 2 references in Black Ops 3 is because the events of the third game never happened. Also, there is no reference about the third game in Black Ops 4 either. The only thing they have in common is the Nile River Coalition, which was seen in a specialist story in the game. And you don't have any precursor to Black Ops 3 in Black Ops 2 either. Surely you would have seen some actual references to the third game in Black Ops 2 or Black Ops 4, since it has references from the first two games. You can also get a hint of Black Ops 3 being merely a simulation by the teaser trailer that was released in April 2015 with this little line.
Everything you know is wrong.
But also similar to that lack of references part, the surroundings of Black Ops 3 do not align with those of Black Ops 2. They make no sense. For example, in the third game, there are two rival factions called the Winslow Accord and the Common Defense Pact. If you look at their history, you will notice that Russia and Poland became the first members in 2025, which is quite strange because the canon ending for the Strike Force missions in Black Ops 2 is that Russia joins the STC, basically a strong alliance with China in the year of the game, which is 2025. So how the hell could they have left and made an alliance against China all in that same year? Even if you chose the other option with Russia not joining SDC and becoming an ally of the US, you are seriously going to tell me that they just bucked up and won against the US that same year? It basically makes no sense. They could have anyway just opted to join SDC then. Then you can look at the other supposed first member. Poland is one of the US's major allies and the second most Russophobic country in Europe. The notion that they would leave NATO and start an alliance with Russia is quite negligible. This game doesn't just contradict the second Black Ops game, but the first one too. Of the few references that do exist in Black Ops 3 from the other games, one of them is the Nova 6 gas. Yet, in this game, it was said that it was made by the Coalescence Corporation in a factory deep beneath the earth, which is strange because in the original Black Ops game, it was just Steiner and Clark who made the gas and are the only ones who have the formula for it, which basically is the reason why the Soviets needed them. So how exactly could have they remade the Nova gas if the only two people who had it were pretty much killed? Another reason why Black Ops 3 isn't in the Call of Duty timeline is tied to one of the reasons why I dislike the game. It is a reason that I so solemnly dislike that I don't even want to say it. But this is easily refutable. Call of Duty Advanced Warfare takes place between 2054 and 2061, only 4 years before the simulated Black Ops 3 events. If you look closely at the Advanced Warfare mission, which takes place in Greece, you can see the flag of the European Union flying right next to the Greek one. This shows us that the European Union is still together, but also one thing that is overlooked here is multiplayer. The multiplayer for Black Ops 3 confirmed from its initial beta that the game takes place in a battlefield simulation. After the game was released, multiple confirmations were made during the gameplay. In recordings for completing Hero Gears, you can hear one of the characters, Spectre, talking about reuniting with other specialists in order to put them in a combat simulation. And he's not the only one. The two specialists, Prophet and Firebreak, also acknowledge the simulation, which is the entire playthrough. And this is all confirmed after every match, especially in Nuketown, with the end of it saying that the map is now offline. In conclusion, you can easily say that the whole Black Ops 3 game was just a Call of Duty game for the characters in the Call of Duty universe. From the training simulation at the beginning of the game up until the very end, where the character is revealed to only be a memory inside Taylor, it is all basically revealed to be fake. Considering that the whole project was being run by certain individuals who had the same goals as in Black Ops 4, it's also very possible that Taylor himself was also a simulated person, because multiplayer is done in the same fashion. The whole game is pointless and doesn't achieve anything, especially not for the timeline. Black Ops 4 does continue the story from the second game, but it actually prepares more for advanced warfare while preparing absolutely nothing for the time frame that Black Ops 3 is set in. You can literally play the game without knowing the title and you would never guess that it's a Call of Duty game, much less a Black Ops game. People want to play an actual story campaign in a video game, not playing a video game in a video game as it was described. That paired with the fact that it was not connected to the previous stories are probably the reasons why this game flopped in the first place.